the US30 is that I got several questions why US30 is printing a new historical high while Nasdaq is still, let's have a look at Nasdaq, still rebounding from the 24,400 approximate. This is mainly due to the sell-off that we had on the tech sector last week. Several companies announced their earning. Their earning was better than expected, but investors were very concerned about the high capex or the capital expenditure they are willing to put in the future. Some companies where their capex was around 50 billion, others were 200 billion, and the question here was how much the profitability of these companies will be compared to the high investments they are making. That's why we saw some sell-off on the US equities, and of course this impacted Nasdaq. The investors that sold the tech and AI sector shares moved to more stable shares like banks, energy, or these defensive shares. That's why we saw US30, which focused more on these shares, moving up. Now, technically speaking, regarding the US30, I was saying that we printed a new all-time high at 50,300. I would like to see the first area to be tested at the 49,900. The next area of interest to be tested at the 48,500 before looking for continuation buy and having these targets. In case we broke above the 50,300, it is not the best situation to buy any asset class whenever it is at the current all-time high. That's why I don't recommend. Maybe we could see another price reaction at the 50,500, but you will never know where price will react since we are printing a new all-time high. So these are the two scenarios I will be looking for on US30. Now moving on to gold. As I was saying that last week, these are our trade ideas. I had several areas of interest. The 4,770, it was an area of interest where price directly broke lower, and my next area was at the 4,660 to 70. The reaction here was very fast, so in order to catch such a trade, and I mentioned this in the Telegram channel, it's better for you to have a limit order at this level. Otherwise, just wait to take another trade. So deleting these, let's adjust our areas of interest and see what possible scenarios we could have. This is one area I will be looking for. This is another one. And I will be monitoring this. Okay, scenario number one on gold, I would like to see in case price retested the 4,970 or even digging a little bit lower. Let's zoom in. The first scenario I would like to see is the following, that even if price is retesting this level, failing to break lower, I would like to have such price action. And speaking about the following price action, I was saying that next week on Monday, we have a live educational webinar where we will be discussing these entries. How whenever we reach a higher time frame area of interest, how we zoom into the lower time frames to the 5 minutes and 1 minute in order to get a more accurate entry, higher risk to reward ratio, and be more on time, not to wait to the 1 hour or 30-minute candle to close before jumping in. So don't forget to register for our webinar. It will be live. We will be discussing live examples and answering your questions directly. So back to gold, scenario number one is the following: price retesting the 4,970. Scenario number two, what if price moves down and retest the 4,870? While also reaching this level, I will monitor the price action. In case I see any kind of rejection as well, I will be looking for the following. And the final scenario and the final area of interest currently I am looking at on gold is the following. Here. The 4,700, I believe it's a very nice area. In case we retest it today, I don't believe we could retest this area, but of course, on gold, nothing is impossible, especially with all this volume and volatility. So testing this area here at the 4,700, failing to break lower or candles having a lower wick but closing higher, this could be an indication that the following price action could take place. One, two, three areas. The final scenario, I don't like or I don't recommend this scenario to happen, but it's possible, of course. What if we started to close above the 5,085 to 90 approximate? Well, having a bullish candle closing above this level, the next candle making a lower wick and then flipping bullish, I believe the next zone that we could react at is here. I will mark it. I would say at the 5,200. This is the next zone in case we have an intraday bullish candle closing above this level. The next candle making a lower wick, we could see the following price movement. But personally, I would like to see maybe during NYSE price retesting here or retesting lower and moving, continuing the bullish momentum. So guys, that's it for our episode for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it and we will see you soon. Thank you so much for joining.